I'm moving abroad in 1 year, and I am so excited to be able to share with you finally where I've decided to move to. I've been thinking about moving abroad for several years now, and in the past year, I've been really trying to nail down where I'm going to go because the cities that I'm considering I have never been to before. So a lot of these are just sight unseen. So it's really important to me to at least have my top priorities checked off this list in a city that I'm moving to. It doesn't have to have all of them, but it's definitely important to me that it checks off a lot of them so that I can feel like I'm making a wise choice moving to this place sight unseen. So, some of the different factors that I was considering when choosing a location were one, and the most important one to me was cost of living. And that's because, of course, in the US, it's very expensive right now, but it's just gotten really expensive here in New York. It would feel so good to move to another country where the cost of living is lower than where I live now. Hopefully, keep my US income and be able to then pay down my student loans that I have and just be able to save more money and get ahead. And that was just something that I really, really wanted. So that instantly would put my top cities like Paris or Munich down on the bottom of the list because I just felt like it would be too hard for me and I didn't want to have this stress over me when choosing this place or moving to this place. Like, oh my God, it's so expensive. You hear all these stories. It's so expensive. The rent's so expensive. Da 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 da. I just want to move somewhere where I'd feel like I can just relax and enjoy my life and not have to worry so much about the cost of living. Other factors that were really important to me were dog friendliness. I really wanted to move somewhere that had some parks for Snowy. I also want to be able to take him around, go to cafes and things like that with him. Is the country one that's going to help me connect to my heritage? Because this is the most important part of this whole process to me. It's moving somewhere where I can connect with my ancestors, connect with my heritage, or at least be within the vicinity of countries where I can explore that. I also wanted to move somewhere that was obviously beautiful, historically rich, had a lot of museums and architecture to look at, just really, really beautiful and old. I love like that old European charm because I can get skyscrapers anywhere in New York. I don't particularly want to see that in where I live in Europe. I was also considering what's the weather like? Is it really sunny? Is it really hot? Is it humid? Does it rain a lot? Is it gloomy? Will I be sad and depressed? And also, what's the dating culture like, you know? Also, is there an expat community? So, there's a lot of different things that I was considering when choosing a location, and all of these different factors were really starting to overwhelm me to where I'd have my list and I would be like, okay, none of these check off all of these boxes, but there are some that are at the top of my list that are just no's because of my own fears. So I'll get to that in a second. But the places I was considering the most were Paris, Strasbourg, and Lyon in France, Munich and Heidelberg in Germany, Split, Zagreb, and Pula in Croatia, and then Vienna in Austria and Prague in the Czech Republic. So those were the places that I was highly considering, but only one of those made the cut. So before I answer, leave your comment down below guessing where I'm going to move to, and I think you're going to be excited. So, drum roll, please. I am moving to Munich, Germany. I am so excited to have finally made that decision. And I know, before I was just saying, but the cost of living, it's so much, and I don't want to be stressed. And I'm going to circle back to that in a minute. But there are a few things that are outside of my control when it comes to moving to Munich. So I have to just put this disclaimer out there first. So I can't 100% say that I'm moving there next fall just yet because, one, the most important aspect is my citizenship, the German citizenship. If I don't have that in time for when I want to move, which would be like next September or next October, I can't move to Germany. Like, I cannot do that because then I would have to start over the whole process in a different way. And I am not going back to zero. So I don't know when I'm going to get an answer on that. So that's another thing. It's like totally up in the air in respect to the citizenship, which I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to. So if I have my citizenship in spring or summer, perfect, I can go to Germany. If not, I have to go somewhere else while I wait for the German citizenship to be approved, and it has to be a place that has a German consulate close by. So I have to come up with a couple backup plans. So I was always thinking Strasbourg. You can see that in my last video, or one of my last videos where I did crunch some numbers, or even Zagreb. I think that Zagreb has a consulate nearby. So that could also be an option. And that would also be a lower cost of living option. So then another factor that determines if I'm moving there in the fall or a couple months later is, can I bring my remote job? I don't know. I haven't asked them yet. I really have no idea if I can. If I can, I'm so excited, and that would be so much easier. If not, I'm going to get creative and scrappy. I'm good at making money. I can do it. I know I can. But Munich is expensive, apparently. There's a little bit of hesitancy there with that. So I would probably apply for jobs on the ground in Munich. So that's another factor. And on that same line, because Munich is more expensive to move to, I'm a little hesitant to make it the first place I land, because I have seen, and you guys, I know a lot of you live in Germany, so you can tell me if this is true. I have read, at least on ChatGPT, that you have to pay 3 months deposit on an apartment and then first month's rent. And if I didn't get it furnished, it most likely wouldn't have a kitchen. So I'd have to pay for that too. So I'm not entirely sure if I can do that financially when I get there, because I'll be saving up all this money just to get there. So I'm thinking it depends on where I am in spring, and I will update you on all of that. If I'm in a situation where I don't have my citizenship, or I don't have enough savings to give me those 4 months upfront in Germany with my rent, then I think the smartest thing to do would be to move to a lower cost of living country first for a couple months, regroup, save some money, and then go to Munich, because the hardest part is just getting over the ocean. Just getting to Europe is going to be the hardest part. So I don't want that to hold me back. Like the amount of money that I'll need to just get an apartment. Who cares? I can always do that. But I just gotta get there, right? I gotta get abroad. My plan would be to maybe move to Zagreb for a few months and then move to Munich in the wintertime. So why am I deciding to move to Munich? Obviously, the biggest thing is it's my heritage. I am German through and through. I want to go and just experience where my family comes from, the culture that I was raised in. I want to live it and experience it. And Munich is just, from what I've seen, so incredibly beautiful. But that excitement is always then followed by the fear. It's like, oh, high taxes, high apartment prices. Can I do that by myself while I'm responsible for a dog? Can I actually make that a reality for myself and not become homeless or whatever? Like all of those fears, whether irrational or not, just come up for me when thinking about the places that I really want to be. Like I have found many different cities that could work for me, but I just feel like there isn't like that excitement there. There's only two cities, and it's Paris and Munich just feels like home. Oh, why does that make me want to cry? I have been really trying to work on my mindset when it comes to finances. I went through a really hard period of my life a couple years ago where at first, like I was making like really good money. I was doing so well financially, and I had a lot of money saved, and then just life happened and it went to zero. And that fear like lives inside of me now, because I know how scary it is to not have that. And granted, I am very scrappy. Like I said, I am very business minded. I love doing things and helping people and freelancing and offering services and just being there to help people. And it's so rewarding to me to make money that way. So I know I can always get out of a situation. So there's always like this conversation in my head of like, oh my God, this is going to happen again. Oh, but wait, you could actually get out of it. It's not the end of the world. And I just am in like this spiral in my mind lately because of that really like traumatizing experience, and I know so many of us have gone through that too. I've really been trying to work on my money mindset because right now my main focus is saving money for this move. So one of the things that I've been doing, which I feel like has really helped me, is every time I'm making a decision, I ask myself, is this $1 million decision or is this a broke decision? So if I'm laying in bed and it's 6 o'clock and my alarm's going off and I'm hitting snooze over and over and over again, the thought comes into my head, is this a broke decision or is this $1 million decision? Then I'll get out of bed and just force myself to get started. Or if I'm scrolling Instagram for too long, my brain will say, okay, is this $1 million decision or is this a broke decision? I'm like, you're right, that's a broke decision. I'll get up and do something more productive to help me make more money to then save to make Munich happen. So, to bring this full circle, I didn't want to not choose Munich because I was afraid of finances and money and all of that. I didn't want to make a choice that big because of a fear in my head. How stupid is that? The $1 million decision is going after what makes you feel so excited, that makes you light up inside, that made me almost cry when I said moving home. Like, I don't know what it does, but it just makes me feel like this is the right choice. So, why am I going to ignore that feeling over something that happened in the past and that fear like living in your head? That is so dumb. And that is a broke decision. So that's the plan. I am moving to Munich next year. One way or another, it might not be where I land first, but it will be where I end up. So if you're somebody who found my channel because of my videos applying for citizenship through Descent for Germany, and you are wanting to apply for citizenship through your ancestry, for whether it's for Germany or anywhere in the EU, I have a free starter guide. I don't know why I called it a starter guide, but it is a comprehensive guide that has everything you could possibly need to know in order to get started on your process. I really want everybody who has the opportunity to do this to do it. You can totally do it yourself. If you want to hire a lawyer or an agency, you can always do that. But I want to empower you that you can do it yourself. If your case is not super hard or like incredibly complex, you can do it yourself. So this guide will help you do that. Thank you so much for all your support on my videos. I am really excited for this next chapter and I'm excited to start learning German. I'll be documenting that, of course, as well. So subscribe if you're not already for this wild journey that we're about to go on together. And I will see you next week with another video. Bye!